I'm going to show you how to make your own homemade citrus oil, which will keep the mosquitoes out of your yard. My husband and I used this recipe a whole bunch when we lived in a really shady lawn in Dallas, and it really kept the mosquitoes away. What it does, citrus oil doesn't kill the adult mosquitoes. It does repel them, but it actually kills the eggs. And so when you spray it in your yard, you're basically preventing those eggs from turning into mosquitoes. So what you do is you just spray it in your yard very easily every couple of weeks, especially in the shady areas and in long grass, any moist areas of your lawn, and it helps to just keep those mosquitoes away. So first I'm going to show you what you're going to need to make this. First you're going to need citrus peels. So what I do is when my grocery store is having a loss leader sale on oranges, especially just the regular oranges. You can do any citrus, you can do grapefruit, lemon, tangerine, anything, but orange actually works the best. So when they're having 10 oranges for $1 or 33 cents a pound or something like that, that's when I buy oranges that I'm going to use for citrus oil. I buy a bunch, and you can just cut up the oranges just as they are in large chunks and pieces, and you don't have to actually eat the oranges. But my family, we eat a lot of fruit, so we ate the oranges and we just saved the peels in a bag in the refrigerator. And once we were all done eating them, that's what we used. So I guess this is maybe 8 or 10 oranges that we threw the peels in the fridge, and they've been sitting there waiting for me to make citrus oil. So you need your orange peels. You're also going to need some sort of pot that has holes in the bottom. This is going to act as a strainer later on. So I have just a standard terracotta pot that has holes in the bottom. You can also use the plastic pots that have holes in the bottom that you get from plants in from the nursery. That's what I've used before. Today I just don't have any of those in my garage, so I'm just using a terracotta pot that I've used for plants, and that works great. And then you're going to need a bucket that pot will fit into to hold all of the water in while the citrus oil is making. So this is just a regular bucket. I just found one that this pot would fit into. You just kind of need a size match to hold all of the liquid. Even if this pot is a little smaller than this, than the bucket that you're going to use, that's okay, because all you're using the pot as later is as a strainer to get all the peels out. So you could even not use this step, but use a slotted spoon or something like that to get all of the pieces out. You might not want to, because it's going to be sitting in the water for a couple of weeks, might be a little gross, but this is what I do, and this works really well. The other thing you're going to need to use is a container to keep your citrus oil in when you're not using it. This is an old juice jug, but I've also used old milk jugs, so that's the other thing you're going to need. You will need a funnel just to get the citrus oil into that jug, and then you're going to need one of these hose sprayers that you attach your hose to. I can link you one below on Amazon, and this is going to help you to spray the citrus oil into your yard. Alright, so let's get started. What I'm going to do, this is a jug that I used to make citrus oil in the past, so I actually have citrus oil in there. I'm going to show you how to spread it later. So I'm going to move some of these things out of the way for now. Alright, okay, so all I'm going to do is take my orange peels and dump them into my bucket with the straining pots. Okay, those are in there. And now I'm just going to grab my hose, turn it on, and fill the bucket with water. I'm just going to fill it up. I'll be right back. Okay, here I go. Filling this bucket up. My bucket full of my orange peels and my water, and I'm just going to let that sit in my garage for a couple of weeks. You could let it sit outside, but then you're going to get flies and stuff in it. I'm just going to let mine sit in my garage and basically steep just like tea. When I'm done, let me get my other jug that I have that's empty. Once it has steeped, then you pull the terracotta pot out, and it is going to act as a strainer for you. So that's just straining out. So then you're just going to pour your newly made citrus oil into your jug and fill it up. I label my jugs because I do make some other things homemade, like compost tea. So I label them in the garage just so I don't forget what I have in there. But after a couple weeks, this will look a little orange. Okay, so that's all you're going to do is fill that up. And then label it. Got my label there with a Sharpie, and keep it in your garage. Okay, now we're going to apply our citrus oil to our yard. So I'm going to take my prepared citrus oil that I've already steeped and stored, and I'm going to pour a bunch into my dial and spray. I just kind of fill mine up because I do spray this all over my grass, and I do end up using quite a bit, which is nice that it's very cheap to make homemade. For the dial, you want to turn the dial, I've already got mine attached to the hose, you want to turn the dial to about a cup. That's what it's dispensing, so I've got mine on 8 ounces. And then attach the jug. And I'm going to have, you have 2 spigot styles here. You have one where it's going to spray down, one where it's going to spray up. For this, I'm going to spray down because I want this to get into the grass. Okay, so now all I'm going to do is press the button here, and I'm going to do this all over my grass today. Here where I live, we've had a very wet fall, and we have hardly had any kind of freeze or winter at all. So I'm just going to spray this around, especially in the long grasses and in the shade. Wish me luck.